Welcome back to You Can Do It. Today we're working on a VWT5 Mutlivan T5.1 and same as the T6s or T5s. We're basically looking at the drive shaft, the right hand drive shaft, because this is a left hand drive. So it's the right hand drive shaft, it's the long drive shaft, okay? So we're just going to take that off and check for wear and play, as we have a bit of a noise on the slack in the gearbox. It could be the gearbox or the shaft, okay? So I'll do it. I've done a video on the other side. We're just going to do a video on this side. Okay, so to take this off, we need a 30mm 12-point socket for the end of the CV joint. We need a 19mm for the wheel nuts. We need a 21mm for the lower ball joint and the steering arm joint. Let's get to it. Let's check it up. Get an axle standing on there nice and safe. Take the wheel off and let's get cracking. Okay, wheels off. It's all on axle stands and the support there. It's double safe. I've undone that with the impact driver. And then we've come under here. I've taken the nut off of there, and you hit it really hard with a hammer until it cracks, and then you use your long handle of your trolley jack across there and underneath there. Then you can lever that lever down, which I've done, and as you can see there, this is out of the ball joint. So now, all right, that came out. You don't actually need to. Didn't actually need to take that one off. So that comes out. You can basically pull that right up like that, look, and that can come out like that. Right, and now what we're going to do, if you look down there, you've got two 13mm bolts there. I'm going to undo those two bolts there, and that'll allow me to pull this whole drive shaft out. I've taken those two bolts out, look, and then this basically just pulls right out. I need two hands to pull that out, but basically just that shaft just comes right out. Okay, guys, I think I might have found horrible problem here. So basically I've had that drive shaft out on this, I've had that out from here, the CV joint and everything, but I can't get the drive shaft out of the gearbox. Now you should just be able to pull that drive shaft out of the gearbox, and I can't. Now that's telling me one thing, and I think that's telling me that the splines or something have mashed up inside the diff there and are holding that drive shaft in. But I've just got one, so what I've done is I've put the drive shaft back in again, put some bolts on there, and I'm just going to get my little helper just to do that. And I can feel, if you look at this now, this could be the splines in the gearbox, which if it is, it's going to be a bull. It's a gearbox off job. But look, there, that moved there, and then Hardy, here's it, and then it goes back again. There, I can feel it, and that just feels like I can feel it, something inside there. I was going to go and get my helper to do this. It's a click. Now hopefully it's the CV joint here, but if it's not, it's in the gearbox back there. But the problem is I can't get the drive shaft out, and that's telling me there's something wrong, big time. There's no circlip on that or anything. So I'm going to get my helper to move it here, and I'm going to have a quick look. I'll be back in a second. Okay, guys, there's a white mark there. Look, and when I turn this drive shaft, there's like a weird, like, right, I pulled it one side, which is fine. Like, you can see that little white thing there. You see that? I just moved, and that, I fear, are the splines that have gone or something. But I cannot get this drive shaft out. This drive shaft should just pull out by hand. When I changed the DMF, it came out no problem, just pulling it out. So what I've done is I've had this here up on here, so that's on that. You can't push on that because that's a bearing. I've had it there, and I've smacked that as hard as I can with a hammer, like a 4-pound hammer, as hard as I can, and that is just not budging out of there. Okay, so this is one of these ones where it doesn't go to plan, and the job is much more serious than I thought. So this is sort of telling me that I think my gearbox is shagged. Well, not my gearbox there. In diff, it's not even the diff, it's the bloody splines. Now when I changed the DMF in there, I remember I pulled this drive shaft out and the splines were quite dry in there. So I don't reckon they put a lot of grease in there from start. Anyway, so I greased them up, but I reckon probably the damage was done. And then when I took a trailer with another transporter on, actually, all the way back to the UK and back again. And then I'm now just, like another 2 years later, I've just taken another trailer with a mini back to and fro, so 3,000 kilometers, and I think that's just done that in. So I can't get that shaft out at the moment, and I don't really know. I mean, she's just not coming out unless I just absolutely slaughter it with a sledgehammer to pull that out. But anyway, we're supposed to be going on holiday, so I'm in a bit of a pickle here. So what I reckon I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got cover and I'm just going to go and eventually I imagine the splines in the gearbox will completely shear and it'll just spin, which will be good in one sense because at least I don't get the drive shaft out. Then I'll take the box off and I've got to split the box, which will be good videos but a pain in the arse. And then I'll have to put new female like pinion gears in there, because basically you've got your gearbox, you've got your diff, your two small ones, and basically they're your two small gears, and then the female splines are actually connected to that. They're all one unit. So the female splines that drive shaft male spline goes into is actually part of the diff, and I think that's the bit that's gone, which means that those two splines between the male and the female have obviously meshed themselves up so that I can't pull that bloody thing out. It could be a nightmare. You might have to even cut the shaft in half near the box, because you can't get the box off unless you take I have to take that other engine mounting off, because this whole thing's going to be come off with the box when you take the box off. So yeah, that's going to be a real pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is put this all back together again and go for driving it and decide and make a decision whether we're going to go away in it or not. It's a bit of a risky decision, but this is one of those true to life live videos where it doesn't go to plan. So I've replaced the other side thinking that would sort the problem. It did make it better, but that was just probably age-old slack in the TV joints. But yeah, and when you're going at speed, it's not so bad, but when you're doing sort of up hills and stuff, you can really feel that slack. So funny thing is, that seems to go like a spline and then it's rock solid, and then you go back the other way and it seems to go about a spline and then it's rock solid. So I don't quite know what to do. I'm just gonna let me put it all back together and then I'll make a decision.